just comes naturally. Now the girl can't help it. Well, up on Main Street by the taxi stand.
Personal Velocity is a film that won the Sundance Film Festival Best Film Award in 2002. Rebecca Miller, the writer-director, is, besides being the daughter of Arthur Miller, the iconic American playwright, and Inga Morath, an Austrian-born photographer of great merit, she is also the wife of Daniel Day-Lewis. These are some high-flying family members to sit with at the dinner table. But she holds her own. She operates with smarts and creativity and seems to have a healthy sense of herself. Rebecca has dabbled in art in the form of sculpture, acting, and drawing. But with this, her second film as writer-director, she found a form of expression that really seems to suit her. This film originated in book form as Miller's collection of prose portraits of women. Personal Velocity was awarded Washington Post Best Book of 2001. She then adapted it for her 2002 award-winning feature film. 3 of the short stories became 3 different, although thematically unified short films. Each film explores personal transformation in response to life-changing circumstances. It screened at Tribeca Film Festival and earned critical praise from the New York Times as, quote, the work of a highly and talented visual writer. Cinematographer Ellen Kuras received the Excellence in Cinematography Award for the film at Sundance.
Yeah, it's much harder to shoot with 2 cameras, but it definitely helps to get matched action coverage at the same time. I think it's been helping a lot on the shoot.
And, for icing on the cake, Personal Velocity is part of the permanent collection of the films at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. Miller got some big-time expertise from Ellen Kuras, who is a very well-known cinematographer.
You know how aliens are.
We studied so hard. We didn't have time for this sort of mess. What? Are you crazy?
Much has been made of her work on this film as it is digital, and it was new and innovative in 2001. Her decisions about color, mood, and angle are spot on. Due to the low budget of this independent film, they decided to use a lot of still photography in the establishing shots of the film and the flashback story portions. This is a clever way to stay on budget, yet artistically remain totally involved. These are focused economic stories in which we plunge into the middle of a life, witness crucial developments, and end with a moment of bittersweet insight into the character. These stories are commented on by a voiceover from a narrator who uses Miller's prose to draw larger lessons and look for deeper currents.
Delia Shunt was 34. She had fine, dirty blonde hair and a strong, heavy ass, which looked excellent in blue jeans. And Delia was tough. She beat up a guy in a bar once just for grabbing her ass. He hit her back, and she broke a chair over his head.
Supper now!
Miller refuses to draw morals from her characters. They are not yet through learning, and life has more lessons for them. We meet Delia, Kira Sedgwick, Greta, Parker Posey, and Paula Ferruzzi Balk. Each story is to be about a specific, not generic, woman. And in one way or another, they are all 3 definitely out of step. Each deals with very big problems about men. Fathers, husbands, lovers, business associates. First, Delia, a battered wife. Shot with brevity and delicacy. Pain of watching this on screen is acute. We are given background with flashbacks to help us understand the atmosphere that launched Delia on her sexually degrading life. The son of the owner of the restaurant where she is a waitress is amazed when she calls his bluff and says yes to his sexual proposition. He is more amazed by the contemptuous, dismissive way she deals with his lust. Delia takes charge. Her approach is cold and businesslike and controlling. The expression on her face during the sex act is the height of acting prowess. She is not a victim any longer. She is dispensing a product. She is selling it. The segment ends with her regarding him thoughtfully, as if considering her future or her past. Kira Sedgwick is magnificent with her eyes, her body language. She's like a nervous cat. The dreadful state of a family trapped in violence is perfectly unfolded for us. The sick links to sex that these situations often involve is made clear. The faces of the children made me turn away. This is what you call too painful to watch. But it is not an exotic happening. Violence like this is common and too frequent to even be considered unusual. This short little piece answers many of the questions we often hear about these situations. Why do women stay? Watch Kira Sedgwick's performance of Rebecca Miller's realistic and fact-filled script. It's not so easy to leave, that's why. Many women are trapped. Many women have children they desperately want to take care of and protect. This can be extremely challenging, and not everyone can manage it. In the middle segment, we meet Greta Parker Posey, a sometimes hilarious actress who has appeared in classic comedies, glides onto the screen as a cookbook editor. Her whole well-tuned life is upended when she's offered a chance to edit a very famous writer's next book.
Greta had never edited anything but cookbooks.
Do you have any idea why he might have said that?
Maybe he likes to cook.
Will she be loyal to her boyfriend, who her father thinks is a loser? The father-daughter dance is one that is difficult. There are undertones in this one. We're not sure who holds all the cards. This is a subtle but really meaningful portrait of a young woman in confusion and almost panic. Who am I? Who do I want to be? Who do I need to please? How many young women have wrestled with these questions? No answers, because she has never felt very deeply about anything in her life. This decision looks easier to her than it should. My feeling was that she surrendered to what she thought would please her father. I don't know that, of course, but I'm thinking that. Now, Paula. This is perhaps the most discussed, the most watched of the three stories. This actress, Fairuza Balk, is really superb. We immediately are in sympathy with her. All three stories are loosely connected by the automobile accident in which she is involved. She has just narrowly escaped one of those senseless accidents that can forever change your life. She has a chance. She is running away from her life. That is obviously her M.O., since she ran away from home a couple of years ago, before, when her mother acquired a new husband who was a real jerk, and her mother won't defend her daughter against him. Here we have another oft-times heard lament of children who live through these life skirmishes. Parents acquiring new partners who distance the children. But Paula herself is so likable, so compassionate and kind, she cannot be stepped on. You can see it in her eyes and in the set of her mouth. She picks up a sullen and withdrawn hitchhiker who is running away from a situation that is probably worse than hers, or we surmise that. But this is the story that releases us, I feel. Her little dance at the very end, as she heads back to New York, car gone with the young boy heading for who knows what. Her mother's gone with the new husband. But Paula's life is moving ahead for her. She's happily pregnant. She's returning to her more than decent, sensible Haitian partner in life. What she learns is that she still has feelings. She can care. She's not crippled as she thought she was. This is enough to raise our spirits, even though the other two women are luminous in our minds still, and we are unsure of their futures. And I don't think of either of them as dancing to themselves with joy, as Paula is. Again, this requires some thinking, and maybe watching it all again. Miller has told us how they all got where they are.
You get these like things where they go from point A to point B to point C all the way through a scene, and so there's an emotional continuity that you're not cutting a scene up and saying, okay, cut, now we're turning around and this and this. And, I mean, it makes it harder in some ways because you have to light for all of that and everything, but I think it's...
She does not tell us how it all turns out. Remember, this is an independent film. I like to think these films deal with life with more reality than, say, a Jennifer Aniston ending. Forgive me, Jennifer, your own private life has taken you down some hard paths, I know as well. But in the movies, it seems that you always turn out to be just fine. Well, here are three women with stories we all recognize. The movie doesn't pretend to solve their situations, only to dramatize them. Maybe our velocity in life is actually very personal. Each one of us has our own measurements. This film examines the small steps each of us takes. Sometimes the steps are crucial. Sometimes a small movie like this accomplishes big things in understanding.
Trying to cause a scene. It just comes naturally. No, the girl can't help it. Well, up on Main Street, by the taxi stand, there's a crowd of people.